It's Thankful Thursday. Welcome along. Thankful Thursday. And thankful for menopause.
Yes.
Absolutely. Now you might be thinking, what are these women on?
Yes.
It's time to let menopause be just a natural part of your life.
Totally, just like puberty, right?
That's right. Nobody medicated you for puberty, did they?
No, they did not.
You know,
No.
and so...
It's a rite of passage and you celebrate it.
That's right. It's just the beginning of another part of your life. And the idea that you've got to have this, you know, medication and that supplement and that, I don't know, other supplements, you know, in fact, you've probably got a cupboard full of it, or that herbal tea or that whatever, is actually just not the way it has to be. For sure, you might need some support with some of it, but really, it's just a natural part of your life. And we're quite good, really, aren't we? So, you know, menopause is sort of between the ages of 45 and 60. I'll leave it up to you to guess which way around that goes. And so I can probably tick off the post-menopause.
And I can tick off the peri-menopause.
Yeah. So I was just saying to you before we started today, that it's a shame I didn't know all the stuff I know now, you know, maybe when I was your age, you know, because I probably didn't talk to my mum. My mum didn't talk to me, and it wasn't probably something that was a conversation piece with my friends even. You know, and so you ended up doing all this stuff, going through all this stuff that was, you didn't know whether it was normal or not normal, of how your menstruation went or whatever. But actually it was just a natural part of your life, and you actually only ended up having some intervention when you thought, oh my God, I actually don't feel very well.
Yeah, and I think that's that whole... you know, we've talked about the concept of the woman's circle, right? And you know, Lord, bring back the woman's circle.
Yeah, sitting around doing your knitting or your crochet or your stitching or whatever.
Yeah, but where you can talk about, because it is, it's just so funny how all of a sudden, and I don't know how or when, all of these conversation topics became taboo. Like, you know, and really, it's not taboo at all. Or like you said, it's medicalized, and it's not. It's just a process of life. We get taller, and we, you know, my son had terrible growing pains. So sometimes when you're growing, it's painful as well. But it's just the process that you go through to become the new you, right? That new version of who you are and the new life that you're stepping into. Yeah, and
in fact, most of the things that are actually going to be the best for you, and you can be really thankful about this, is actually in your lifestyle.
Yes, absolutely.
And
it's all about lifestyle.
And that managing any changes that you might have come through lifestyle changes.
Yeah, I thought I was like full blown in the like, oh my gosh, this has hit me hard and it's hit me early and all of that stuff. But I just had a really stressful job.
Right.
And it's interesting because I finished that job just a few months ago, and the change, right? So stress.
Okay, so you had elevated stress, so all the other things that were going on in your hormone system were also being elevated. Yeah. Which you put down to menopause possibly, but actually it was the stress going, oh, what's happening in my life?
Exactly, like, oh my gosh, there's so much tsunami of stuff coming at me. And I think that's the thing, is that the lifestyle piece is probably sitting below a whole lot of the symptoms that we may be experiencing, but we don't kind of always point to the symptom, we don't point to the cause about, well, what is really causing it. Well, let's talk about your life. And what's going on for you right now.
That's right. So sort of having an understanding of how the hormones in your life are changing. Yeah. But then understanding that's a natural part of your life. Yes. You're not having to stop it or, you know, dismiss it, because that's just a natural part of your life. But what can you do to help it? You know, so, and it's something we haven't talked about very much, but one of the things is having a good diet. Yeah. It's that blue zone diet, isn't it? So parts of the world where they have people living to 100 and beyond, they've examined the types of food they eat.
Yeah. And the lifestyle that they have, so they do have low stress lifestyles as well, but the blue zoners. But yeah, and the food is natural. Yeah,
Yeah, looking outside of the garden.
We're like, yeah, you go and pick your lettuce or you pick your broccoli, and it's not processed. It's not
out of a can or a packet.
No.
Yeah, although cans can be good.
Yes,
Cans can be good.
Cans can be good.
Yeah, but it hasn't been through a mechanical process. You know, it might just be tomatoes chopped and put in a can or something like that. So the idea that you have to eat quite a lot of green leafy vegetables, that's important.
Yes.
Olive oil is an important part of it. Drinking lots of, plenty of water, having water in your life. Yes, having beans and rice and carbohydrates, so it's not a time to cut anything out.
No, and in fact,
meat and fat you cut out, but you're not having to say, oh, I can't have pasta because that's not so good for me, or I can't have beans tonight, or whatever.
Yeah, and in fact, it's a time to probably load that stuff up in. And I remember my sister did Weight Watchers point system. And there's a point to this point, like the weight. But the thing that I really got from her doing that was that the vegetables was 0 point.
Oh, so you could eat as many green leafy vegetables.
You could eat salad all day long, and you'd have no points.
Right. So they really got it nailed. Weight Watchers has.
Yeah.
Because they're saying.
Yeah.
Eat as much of this as you want.
Yes, like load your plate up with leafy green vegetables and load your plate up with vegetables because this stuff is good for you. And it's not only, because I was thinking about this last night when I was, choosing to eat a banana over a ginger nut. Because I monitor the calories, not to manage my weight, but just because I like to see the nutrients that I'm taking in, because it monitors that as well. And so the banana comes with all these nutrients, right?
Ginger nut.
Sugar.
Processed flour.
Ginger. Yeah. So you think about that, the less processed, the more goodness you're putting in as well.
Wow. Yeah, that's right. So that's a really important part of functioning well, isn't it? That you have to have all the nutrients and minerals in your body so that your body can do what it needs to do.
Yeah. Yes. And
it was like what you were saying about in a growth spurt, you need to eat good food. So in a change of life, you need to eat good food.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And make sure that you have got the nutrients that you need.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you're not getting them from your diet, then supplement.
Yeah. But yes, I'm not a great supplement person because I always think you should eat food. I'm a great believer in that, let's just eat the food because then you're getting a range of things in it anyway. I mean, I'm a great one for water. You might have seen my video about eat lots of green vegetables because then you're getting water as well.
Yes.
Yeah. So in that, and I'm not sure where it comes in the sequence, but we were talking about sleep the other day.
Yes.
You might not have seen that yet, I'm not sure. But the getting enough sleep is important as well.
Yes.
Because it's that time when your body is getting rid of the waste products. You're kind of integrating all your systems together. They're getting a rest, the bits that need a rest. And during changes in hormones, your body's working quite hard.
It is. And it does affect your sleep. Like I know that some of the women that I've spoken to, and it was definitely what I was experiencing, was the effect on my sleep, is that, they'll stay awake all night because the hormones are changing and there's stuff going on, and it's just a period of and for some people it's 10 years of terribly affected sleep. Yeah. Which is pretty bad.
Yeah. So I wonder, whether they've, from my experience, I really worked on trying to figure out what it was.
Yeah.
So that I did sleep.
Yeah.
So for me, it was the cutting back on tea and coffee, drinking little, if any, alcohol.
Yeah.
Having smaller but more nutritious meals.
Yeah. Maybe
more frequently even.
Yeah.
If you felt hungry, do have a cracker and, a rice cracker and cottage cheese or something like that. Because it's sort of, you have to figure out, and however it's working in your world, to get the sleep, because it is quite an important thing.
Absolutely, it's an incredibly important thing. Because it helps balance everything out. And you're right, there's the whole having, I don't know, like, did you find, because I found that I get really hungry, like my need for food has gone through the roof. Like, right. And even getting to sleep is affected, because even though I've eaten the same number of calories, I'm still lying in bed going,
I'm a bit hungry.
Better go and eat that second banana.
Yeah, for me it was kind of a Weet-Bix. I don't know if you have that kind of thing, but I would have a Weet-Bix and some milk. That was, and sometimes that would actually help me go back to sleep.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think I was awake, maybe not tonight, like last night, but definitely I had to have a bit. I've actually gotten to the point, it's like, if I'm going travelling, I need to have like food just in case I wake up hungry.
Okay, then good one.
I know, but that never used to happen.
No. So, and I probably became more conscious of, I don't know if you heard about low GI food. So you've got complex sugars and things in the food that's going to give you a longer, lower quality of energy. I don't mean lower quality, I mean more sustained energy. So things like an apple, and I don't really like apples, but I eat them because of that. Yogurt, I don't really like yogurt, but I eat that as well.
Potatoes.
I don't eat potatoes much. Kuma are better. So sweet potatoes. So those kind of things, just to give you that longevity. I was thinking about snacking at morning and afternoon tea. You don't usually eat a potato.
No, but people eat potato chips, and that's, I think, where they kind of like, because it's like, also potato. It's
processed fat, salt.
Read all the ingredients that they add into, and I think that's the thing, it's quite easy to manage things just by, actually, when you go shopping, like, look at all the ingredients that they list. And the good news about broccoli is there's no list of ingredients, because that's the ingredient, right?
That's so right, yeah. And a banana comes in its own wrapping and everything.
Exactly, an orange, an apple,
so I've been reading a little bit more, and you might find her if you Google her, but Dr. Wendy Sweet is really into the lifestyle changes you can make. Those kids outside must be having a good time. Can you hear them? Can you hear them? Dr. Wendy Sweet, she's a New Zealand doctor who looks at menopause from a lifestyle point of view, and she has. I've really been enjoying her work recently, and one of the things that she said also is about getting enough sunshine. On your skin. So if you live in New Zealand or Australia, you've got to be careful about getting too much sun at the hot time of the day, but actually getting natural sunlight on your skin is really important as you age, because you have the receptors on your skin help make estrogen, which of course is declining in your general hormones, but through having a good dose of sunlight each day, that can really improve how you manage your menopause.
Oh, absolutely, and so many of us don't get enough sunlight, or get enough outside walking. And like, one of the things we were just talking about too was the symptoms of pain that come with menopause as well, like the joint pain that comes, and I don't know, like I was saying, like I was interviewing a woman for a job, and somehow we ended up talking about menopause, but these are the things you talk about.
Okay, good.
Had nothing to do with the job that she was applying for. But it's interesting in terms of, I guess, just that willingness to open up the conversation and talk to other women about it and learn about it and ask the questions and find out. But she said her biggest thing was pain. Right. In the joints.
Yeah. So, and that can stop the sleep as well. Well, I think I suffered from hip joint arthritis, and I'm wondering now, having learnt this stuff about menopause, because of course it was during my menopause time, that maybe the intense pain that I was feeling was from the hip joint arthritis, but also I wonder whether it was actually the menopause. I think it's to do with the restriction of blood in various vessels, so that I'm not a doctor, so I don't really understand so much, but I'm curious, not that it's ever going to be sort of something I'm going to find out about, but I'm curious to sort of continue pondering about whether the intense pain I felt was actually as a result of the menopause on top of the arthritis.
Yeah.
But I mean, I never knew that until just, a month ago.
Yeah, exactly. But this is, and I think that's where the beauty of having an open conversation, or the willingness to have open conversations with other women about their experience. So I'm quite grateful that I have a few older women in my life. So I've been able to, because I had no idea about that actually it's when you haven't had your period for a whole year, that's when you're post-menopausal. And so, some of my friends are, I don't know, they'll get 11 months in and then they'll get their period and they're like, damn, I was so close, and it's like, ding, ding. Or, so there's just how all of that stuff begins to change, and it's almost like, with puberty, they write books about it, and mum sits down and talks to you about it, and some families even, there's a special celebration and ceremony, and we just kind of, have sleepless nights, painful hips, and cranky.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we haven't really talked about mood swings, because that can happen too, can't it? Yeah. So, I think the reason that we chose to be thankful for menopause is because it's a celebration of being alive some more,
and being a woman,
and I think celebrating it because it's just a natural part of our life cycle. And I think if I'm going to be slightly grumpy about the world, it would be because men don't have menopause. There's not as much talk about it. Men go through puberty, yay, women go through puberty, but it tends to get pushed, like we said at the beginning, tends to get pushed into you need to go to the doctor, and it gets medicalised, and you get hospitalised and treated for it rather than
hysterectomies, cut out women's
reproductive organs. That's right. So it can be a violent time in your life. But I think we're on the path for it not to be. So we're really excited by offering this to you, and do look up some of the other things that we've talked about today.
Absolutely. And definitely talk to your female friends and create that sisterhood of conversation, because you're crossing the threshold into being the wise woman now, and the mentor, and the woman who's walked, the path that many other women are going to follow behind you. And as women, we need other women guiding us on that journey.
Yeah, for sure, absolutely.
Yeah,
that's right. We want it to, to the knowledge to flourish and become available to everybody, so that everybody has a great journey through this time in their life, ready to move on to whatever else comes next afterwards.
Exactly. Exactly. So enjoy the new beginnings.
Yeah, new beginnings.
Menopause.
Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.